All right, y'all. Um, I tried to con. I tried to. I try not to comment on trivial things. I try to mention things that um, are inspirational, uplifting, or pertaining to the church. I try not to talk about things that pertain to politics, religion, and Illuminati. Not on here. Now, I'll sit down and listen to anybody's theory, but the Angie Stone situation has swept the nation, I suppose, more than Michael Jackson. I guess from it being when it happens to men, you don't really react a certain way, but then when it happens to women, you pretty much you gotta go all hands on deck. So I have a letter here written from an anonymous viewer who has been to our church many occasions when we've had the prophets, allegedly when the prophets come to speak. For legal purposes and all intents and purposes, we will say that this video is for entertainment purposes only. That takes care of that preamble and disclaimer, etc., etc., etc. Because a lot of people being sued behind what was being said, what is being thought of, what is being pontificated, and not anywhere near the ballpark of the truth. Now, you've seen the messy sweet spot, and messy indeed. You've also heard from the guy. What's the soul guy? He used to be announcer for 95.9. It'll come to me. Quiet Storm. You heard from the Quiet Storm, and he asked the receipts and pictures and documents, etc., etc. So I'm going to say very, very quickly and very, very briefly. You can take this as my opinion, but I have heard what the psychic had said. I was in the room, and the psychic was not using tarot cards, and that's what intrigued me to listen, because I've seen mediums who can pull information from the air and it's spot on. Don't know if it's psychic ability or what, but this lady pulled information and another lady pulled information. Now, for those of you who are in the Baltimore area, this psychic lady I don't know where she lives, but she can be found off of Ritchie Highway. Now, if you are familiar with the area, you know of the psychic that I speak. That's all I want to say is she's a psychic off Ritchie Highway, and she gave me the information. She was the second one who gave me information, which confirmed what the first one said and a little bit extra that the first one did not share. So, having said that, it jives with what I also believe in my spirit. So therefore, that's the only grounds on which I'm going to repeat what she said, or repeat the reading, because it jives with what I also agree with and believe. The 100% agreement part is it was an inside job. It was a setup within the family. The 100% I agree with was that Angie knew who they were. 75% I agree with is that some of the co-conspirators were in the van with her. And a lot of people say, well, if you know you're going to flip a van, why would you get in the van? Because if you are a trained stunt driver, which I have been told that Lethal is a trained stunt driver, a habitual liar, and I mean, if you know how to hit them rumble strips on the edge of the highway, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but there's a certain way that you hit them rumble strips and brake that will throw the vehicle into a spin. I agree 100%. The psychic said the vehicle did not roll over 5 or 6 or 7 times. The vehicle rolled over one time on its side and skid the rest of the way to lane 1, between lane 1 and 2. And if you count from left to right, 1, 2, 3, from lane 1 and 2, median would be lane 1, the shoulder would be lane 3. I didn't ask her if it was 3 or 4 lanes, but I'm just giving you an idea so you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So lane 1 and 2 is closest to the shoulder. I also agree that she did not get out of the vehicle. What else did she say? I believe the cousin was in on it. The one who said she was unconscious throughout the whole thing. Because how can you be unconscious before the accident with all of the noise going on? See, that part didn't make sense when she said it. What made you unconscious? What did you drink? Or who stuck you with a needle that made you unconscious? I believe, which is psychic did not say, if they were unconscious, then Angie and her were both unconscious, which allowed them all to get out and leave those two in the front, because the cousin had no business being there anyway. She was an add-on at the last minute. So everybody got out and leaving them two inside the van so the van could blow up and kill Angie inside. That's what I feel. However, whatever they gave the cousin, Shayna, to whatever they drugged her with wore off, and that's why she said, or perhaps, this is me speculating, perhaps this is why she said she's the last one out of the van, because she thought that everyone was out of the van by the time she woke up. She didn't see nobody else, and somebody helped her out of the van. They saw some hands coming up. They helped her out of the van. Told her to go sit down. I think the white lady who told the story about coming to get her out the van was helping the cousin out of the van. I don't think she was helping Angie Stone, because Angie is such a vibrant spirit and loud spirit. You would have known if you had Angie Stone or not. And by her not saying, I helped Angie Stone out of the van, means she helped out some black woman and didn't know who she was. Someone who she had not recognized before. Angie is very recognizable, but the cousin, not so much. So I believe she helped the cousin out of the van. The cousin felt as though she was the last person out of the van. And all that story jives with everybody's testimony when she said she was on the side of the road, she sat down and saw the van get hit. I believe all of that to be correct, all of that to be accurate, and it's 100% on point with what the psychic told me, that Angie did not get out of the van. So the cousin was mistaken. How would she know if Angie got out of the van or not if she's unconscious? So I agree. She might have misspoke and said Angie got out of the van. Perhaps. But one thing is for certain. She did not get out of the van. 100%. The psychic said while they were scrambling to get the lady to the van, a tractor trailer did come by and made contact with the vehicle. The tractor trailer was not out of control. The tractor trailer was distracted. Rubbernecking is what they call it. Was distracted looking at the accident. So much so that the vehicle in front of the truck had slowed down to take a look. The truck driver, without looking ahead of himself, but looking away from the road for so long, had to evasively maneuver that tractor trailer to not ram the vehicle in the back, that it went across the median to avoid the accident in front of it, going across the median in the opposite direction, northbound, southbound, I don't know, and struck the van. Bam! By striking the van, it spun the van around facing the opposite direction. So it turned it 160, not 360. I agree with that. I can picture that happening. At the same time, everybody asked the question, how did the van land on top of Angie and how did the windshield fall on top of her and kill her? Well, that's simple. If you're laying on the side of a vehicle and you're a short lady, everybody's out, nobody to help you, you're not going to climb up to the other pair of seats to come out the window side. So the closest access for you would be to go to the driver's portion and climb out the windshield. Because even in the school bus, they tell you, kick out the windshield and you walk to the ground. Because even if it had a driver's door or a passenger's door, that will be above her head where she could not reach it. Keep in mind, the vehicle is laying on the driver's side, and you're in the driver's side seat behind the driver. So when you come to, knowing you've been in an accident, first thing to your mind is, oh God, I gotta get out of here. Because you think it's gonna blow up. You don't know anything. You know it's an accident. And when you try to get out of the vehicle, before you can get out of the vehicle, you're in the driver's cab. I call it the cab area where the steering wheel and everything is. And you get hit. Bam! Now, whether she saw the truck coming or not, she still felt like she could get out before she got hit by the truck. And no, because the truck came and hit the front end of the vehicle, which knocked in the windshield, knocked it loose, spun her around in it, and she was dead. I can picture all of that. Now, where did the pink sheet come from? I don't know. I didn't ask about the pink sheet. They were telling me that no paramedics were on the scene. They said that the ambulance took her away because there was a slight chance to save her. There was a small percentage of a pulse, very weak. But she was pronounced dead by the hospital. So, dead on the scene and dead on arrival, those are two different things that they say. There's no pulse, because I used to drive for the ambulance company. Whenever the EMT would get there and there's no pulse, we still would have to transport, because we don't have the authority to call a person dead. Only a doctor or coroner can pronounce the death. But we can definitely say no pulse, no rep sounds, no heartbeat. Put it on a machine and read that there's no rhythm, no pulse. Shock it maybe. No rhythm, no pulse. Is it in defib? Don't know. Again, speculations. But from what the psychic said versus what the cousin said with an exclusive interview and what the Quiet Storm came up with, I agree. I don't want to say a family of vultures, but greed was in the mix. When they talk about the music industry did it, music industry was not aware of this. But as it started hitting the billboards and started Clive Davis' name popping around, it got around that something was going on. I did ask about Tyler Perry and investigations and such. And it was told that Tyler Perry is not doing investigations. He's basically doing his own personal investigation, like everybody else, by going through the internet, looking at YouTube videos, trying to get to the bottom of it that way. going to the Tyler Perry message board, sending information that way, which I've not seen a Tyler Perry message board. I didn't think that he had one, but all of that sounds correct. It feels like it fits. And I'm not going to mention her name because I said I wouldn't. Neither one of them. The first psychic was way out Essex somewhere. Very spooky. She went from my questions to asking and talking about my personal life. About people who have passed on, coming through to tell me something. I don't want to know. Unless you're telling me about Jesus has passed on and come and tell me something. I didn't want to know. And the second lady on Richie Highway pretty much said almost verbatim, word for word, what the first lady said. So I got it. There were no smoke or mirrors. The first lady used a pipe and smoke. The other lady used tea leaves. The first lady also used photographs of Angie Stone to try to fill an image or something. The second lady, she played an Angie Stone song to feel her essence. I have never seen the use of tea leaves before. I've heard about the tea leaves, but I don't know what they do or what it's about. But she got answers that were almost like they were both reading the same piece of paper. if that's the best I can come to without it sounding disrespectful. It was not scripted. They did not know I was coming, and I made a joke of it to both of them about how can you be psychic and not know I was coming, you know. They didn't think it was funny. The first lady said she was expecting a visitor, but didn't know who. The second lady said she wasn't expecting me at all. She wasn't expecting any visitors. And that could be true on both sides, because I wasn't expecting to go there. I was expecting just to use the one person's testimony, and I decided at the last minute, let me corroborate it somehow, see if I get the same thing or something different. If I got something different, then I would never have posted it at all, because it would just be boom, 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 phooey. But because they both were almost synchronized in the vision or the reading, I said, okay, well, it's worth sharing with my viewers. And that's all I got for you all. It is sad. It's not unheard of that family, especially wealthy families, will go through hell and hot water to try to gain wealth at the demise of others. Just look at Prince. He for certain said he didn't want his family to have a damn thing. That was his words, not mine. Sheila E. repeated that he said he didn't want the family to have a damn thing. And he's not here to repeat it for himself. I guess Arsenio Hall is alive. I guess you could ask him, because he said the same thing on his show. He didn't want his family to have a damn thing. Arsenio asked, what do you want to leave as your legacy to your friends and your family? He said to his fans, to correct the question, and he said, my music is my legacy. And he said to my family, not a damn thing. And I remember that. That was the first Arsenio Hall, not the one after Donald Trump got him the show back, but before his show was canceled. So look at that. So that helps to narrow it down for the truth Googlers that are Googling it, fact finders. And now they're saying, oh, we got along great with our brother. oh yeah, but he didn't leave a will or anything, which most people don't. They think they're going to live forever. But what happens when you don't leave a will, it becomes the property of the state, for those that don't know what happens. And of course, the state will collect it as uncollected funds, or unclaimed funds, and keep it. That goes for house, land, property, PlayStations. Now, your domains like Facebook and Twitter, I think they just stay out there until somebody deletes them. Or maybe somebody comes along and contacts Twitter and say, this person is deceased, can you remove it? But now they have a link called beneficiary link, that if you should die, the beneficiary has control of your account to remove it. Unfortunately, in Baltimore, death is so rampant that sometimes the beneficiary is dead and can't remove it. So I think to resolve all of this, if there's no postings or no logins to the user account after 2 or 3 years, then the account should automatically be deleted or deactivated. I think deactivated. And then after another year, after it's been deactivated, nobody claims to reactivate it, then it should be deleted. That way, you know, you have 4 years of nothingness to be for certain the person is deceased, and to close the account. Just a suggestion for the moguls out there that own Facebook, Twitter, or X. I think it's called X now. So thank you for your time. Thank you for viewing. Please like and subscribe. We're going to try to get our subscribers up. I don't know if we're going to do a weekly or daily posting. But I do like to see the subscribers go up, and that'll help make up my mind if anybody is watching these views or links or things at all. My mother and I will probably do a reality TV, hire someone just to hear the conversations, which will start here. And if it's any good, maybe we'll go on Netflix or Hulu or whatever you do with reality TV, Peacock perhaps. And if not, there's always YouTube. Just stay with the YouTube. So God bless you. Our church services are still being held at the Howard County Library on Washington Boulevard. Bible study lessons are still held at the library on Edmondson Avenue, Edmondson and Athol, which I've been told recently that that's not Athol anymore. That's called Woodbridge. Once you cross Edmondson Avenue, it's Woodbridge. So stop saying Edmondson and Athol, because that's the school address. So you got me. I did ask the librarian, because there's a church behind the library, and the church address is not Athol Avenue. So it's on the corner of Edmondson and Woodbridge. But when I say it that way, people say, where's that at? Which is why I was saying Athol. But you heard it here. The Edmondson Library, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eventually, it's going to be changed to the Catonsville Library, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Just because it's well lit. And ever since the shooting and the construction that's going on, it's not very easy to get over there to park. The shopping center is remodeling, so I understand that. But before we go there, we will let you know, so you know about the changes. God bless you, and thank you for tuning in.